Hello, so the video by Brienne, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, it's about her explaining the heritage of being Czech, and also while explaining the heritage of it and just like past events that have happened in the Czech village, she is showing us how to make kolaches that her grandma and grandpa used to make for them all the time, for her and her sister and the family. That's how I would explain it in the simplest way, but to me this video wasn't that simple. So it was a little hard to watch just because the way it was set up, but I'll get into that later. So basically it just starts out with her showing the kolaches and like basically talking about what it means. So like she starts it out talking about like without hard work, like you don't get kolaches and stuff like that, which is kind of cool because I didn't realize it till the end. But she also talks about that at the end again, talking about like you can incorporate it to many different things, talking about like without hard work, like you can't make any pies, like stuff like that. But yeah, so she starts it out with like actually showing us like some of the ingredients to make the kolaches, and then she cuts it off and goes straight into like history on the Czech heritage and like just different things about it. And then she tells us about this little village in Iowa, the Czech village, and she gets into that. And then she also goes back to cooking, and then eventually goes back, and she ends up talking about, I don't know if this happened right like quite next, but she ends up talking about how like there was a flood in the Czech village, which destroyed a lot of things. A lot of like small businesses ended up not opening back up, and then they managed to open back up the museum, I believe, but it was just very, I guess, like sad to the Czech heritage, because I feel like that flood caused a lot of that stuff to kind of like go like not extinct, but like missing, where kind of like you don't really do it anymore, but you only, she mentioned that you only kind of like read about it in books now kind of thing. But throughout the video they ended up talking about how like they moved the actual museum somewhere else so that it could be like, I guess, preserved better and wouldn't be affected by a flood again. She ends up also mentioning that, like, which I thought was interesting, she was saying that in Texas there is a higher percentage of people having ancestors from like being Czech compared to like the original place where like people, the Czechs went there. So that was interesting. So did I like this video? I liked it in the sense of like I educated myself on this Czech heritage, and I liked it because I don't think I've ever like educated myself on this, on Czechs, and I don't know why I didn't realize that kolaches came from that. Oh, speaking about that, I thought it was also cool in the video how she mentioned that at first she was upset that like people weren't getting the kolaches correct and that it was changing, but then she ended up realizing, whoa, as long as people are still making kolaches, like I'm okay, like, you know, kind of thing. Now going back. Yeah, so I like this video because it was interesting that I've never seen a video on Czechs, so I definitely got educated by it, but I don't think I necessarily like the setup of this video. It was a lot of like weird cutoffs back and forth, and I don't think the beginning was intriguing to me, where I would have been like, if I accidentally clicked on it, I would have like been like, oh, I'm gonna keep watching. I think I probably would have been like, oh, what is this like next? But the information in it was awesome. I loved it, but the setup wasn't too great. So I think you asked us any ideas you have for crafting your own digital storytelling project. Okay, so I would change the way she set it up, and that's how I would set mine up. I would transition things better. She went from like something super like monotoned to like really loud music really quick, which kind of threw me off, so I wouldn't do that. And then also her voice was very monotoned too, which was kind of hard to like keep engaged with. But yeah, wouldn't have a monotone voice. I wouldn't cut off at weird timings or like go from cooking to like, oh, let me tell you this, like very random. But yeah, overall, I mean, I loved the information.